Okay, dear students, today we are going to take up our next chapter, that is a poem, and the name of the poem is, you can see, an elementary school classroom in a slum. Elementary school classroom. Obviously, the poem talks about the small children. This is school and this is elementary school. School for small children. So this poem is talking about the poet Stephen Spender. The name of the poet is Stephen Spender. And obviously this poem talks about a school which is situated in a slum. And you are already well aware that a slum has less facilities. Who lives in a slum, we can clearly think that these are the poor people. And their children, of course, they are very poor. They are from the poor section of the society. Once what happens, the poet goes to a slum and he visits a school there. And what he finds there, he is just describing in this poem. He looks at the children there. He looks at the classroom ambience there. He looks at the facilities provided to them. And he also talks about the high sounding words used by the leaders, used by the bureaucrats for the development of these people, for the development of these such children. So, in this poem he talks about the poverty, the squalor and the depression and all such things when he goes to that place, when he goes to that school. Now we will start the poem and we will see what is there. The poet says that far from gusty waves the children faces. Far from gusty waves, the children faces like rootless weeds. WEEDS, weeds. And what is the characteristic of a weed? A weed is always unwanted. A group of unwanted plants in a garden or in a field, that is called a weed. What do you think? These children are weeds, meaning thereby they are unwanted children. They are unwanted children. Why does he say like this? He says them unwanted because the way they are brought up, compels him to think that nobody loves these children. Nobody wants these children. That is why he compares these children to a weed. Far from gusty waves, these children faces. The faces of these children look like rootless weeds. They are rootless also. You have your roots. I have my root. Everybody has root. Root means you have your parents, you have your grandmother, grandfather, everybody. Means you have people who like you, you have people who love you. But these children, they seem to be rootless, meaning thereby there is nobody to love them, there is nobody to like them. So that is why when the poet visits this school and he looks at the appearance of the children, he feels that what is their plight, how bad their plight is, how bad their condition is. Their condition is very, very bad. The hair turn round their pallor. Their hairs, they are not properly combed, or they are not combed. Don't think about being proper or improper. They are not combed because they are rootless. There is nobody to look after them. There is nobody to comb their hairs, or there is nobody interested in them. So their hairs are not combed, uncombed hairs. So far from gusty waves, the children faces like rootless weeds. The hair turn round their pallor. Pallor means their face. What kind of face? Dull faces. Their faces are not shining. Their faces are not bright. Their faces are not full of life. Those faces are lifeless faces. Their faces, उनका चेहरा जो लगता है कैसा लगता है? लाइफलेस लगता है. उस पर कोई लाइट नहीं है, ठीक है. उस पर कोई शाइनिंग नहीं है, वो ब्राइट नहीं है, ठीक है. दे आर नॉट फुल ऑफ जील. उनमें जील नहीं है, ठीक है. What is there? They are dull faces. Dull faces means they seem to be uninterested in everything. They are not interested in anything. They do not seem to understand anything. उनको ऐसा लगता है कुछ समझ नहीं रहे. They did not seem to be thinking something. वो कुछ सोचते नहीं है, ठीक है. कुछ चाहते नहीं है, कुछ करना नहीं चाहते, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. They are just sitting idle in the classroom. And one by one he will study, he will talk about some of the students sitting in the classroom. The tall girl, there is a tall girl in the class with her way down head. There is a tall girl in the class and his head is always bent. उसका सिर जो है हमेशा झुका हुआ रहता है. The paper seeming boy, the tall girl with her way down head. Why her head is down? It may be because she is shy, or she might not be interested in anything. She might not be interested in looking at somebody or looking at the world around her. She might have lost her appetite to look, her appetite to know anything, or her appetite to talk to somebody, her interest to talk to somebody. वो सब उसमें कुछ भी नहीं है. She is not interested in anything, or might be she is shy of her poverty. अपनी गरीबी से वो क्या हो, बहुत ही शर्माती हो कि मैं बहुत गरीब हूँ, कोई मुझे देख रहा है, कोई मुझसे बात करना चाहता है, मेरे से गरीब आदमी से बात करना चाहता है. And that may be one reason why her head is always down. The paper seeming boy, there is a very skinny boy, दुबला पतला, बहुत दुबला पतला लड़का है. Paper seeming, that looks like a sheet of paper. The boy is so thin, इतना पतला है वो कि the boy means he is being compared to a sheet of paper. उसको एक पेपर से कंपेयर किया जा सकता है, इतना पतला वो बच्चा है. तो the paper seeming boy, the boy who seems to be like a sheet of paper, very very thin, बहुत पतला है, with rat's eyes, and his eyes are like rats, small eyes. The stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. So there is a tall girl, there is a paper seeming boy. इतना दुबला पतला वो कैसे हो गया बच्चा? उसको खाने पीने की कोई केयर नहीं है, उसको खिलाने पिलाने वाला कोई नहीं है, ठीक है. तो that is why the boy is very very lean and thin. With red, there is another boy, the stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones, and in the corner there is a boy sitting. And what happens? The stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. Hair means Uttaradhikari. So from his father, everybody, I, you, everybody takes something good from the parents. Good qualities, good facilities, or good things we take from our parents. But that boy, he is so unlucky that he has taken a very bad disease from his father. The stunted, unlucky hair of twisted bones. His bones are twisted. He had a deformity that he obtained from his father. His body is totally deformed. His bones are twisted. He had twisted bones like this, like this, like this. You understand? So this is a very pathetic condition. This is a very pathetic condition that everybody has rights. Everybody takes something good, some good things from the parents. But contrary to that, this boy, means unfortunate boy, took a disease of twisted bone from his father. His father gave him nothing good. Rather, his father gave him a disease. So this disease, means disease of being twisted bones, he had from his father. Reciting a father's null disease. That boy is reciting something. He just means reading something from the book, and he has taken a disease from his father. His lesson from his desk. The boy is sitting at his desk, he is reading something, and he had a disease that was obtained from his father, null disease. At back of the dean class, another boy, he go to the back bench in the corner. There is not a window. The classroom is not well lit, and that is why there is somehow a darkness, a kind of darkness in the corner. And in that corner, another boy is sitting, one unnoted, sweet and young. The boy seems to be sweet. The boy is very young. Okay? His eyes live in a dream. But when the poet looks at that boy, he finds that the boy seems to be, his eyes seems to be very, very dreamy. He is lost in his own world. That boy is lost in his own world. He is always in his own dreams. His eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game. He is not interested in the class. The boy is not interested in the class. He is all the time, he wants to look outside the class through the window, might be through the window, or anyway, he just wants to go out of the classroom, and he is not interested in the class. He seems to be in a kind of dream, always thinking about squirrel's game in the room other than this. And he used to play with squirrels outside the classroom, and he always, whenever he sits in the class, he even then thinks about that game with the squirrels, and he never listens to anybody who comes to the class. So meaning that in these lines, the poet visits a classroom in a slum. He finds that the condition is very, very bad. No facilities are provided to the children studying there. You cannot say studying, rather coming there. Nothing is provided to them. And the students, those who come to that class, they are of very, very means they have their different specialities. They are affected by the poverty and the squalor of that place, their parents whatsoever. And everything can be seen in their personality. The poet, one by one, looks at the boys, girls sitting there. He studies them, he studies their mental condition, he studies their physical condition, and he finds that nothing is good with them. So dear students, we have done this one, means almost half of the poem, and in our next class we will be doing the same. On the blackboard there are some points you can see. The poem talks about life in a slum. Children in a slum. He is talking about the condition of the children in the slum. Again, amenities provided to them. What are the amenities provided to the students and their education, and ultimately we will talk about their future, that what kind of future is open to them. That's all for today. I hope you might have enjoyed this class, and tomorrow we will be meeting in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.